Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and in this video I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite things around Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, in 1978 I moved from Houston, Texas to Salt Lake City, Utah. Kind of a strange move, but I had come to Utah twice on vacation in southern Utah, and I just fell in love with the place. And I decided that's really where I wanted to live. So when I got a chance, I made the move basically for two reasons. In addition to wanting to get the heck out of Houston, Texas, which is got horrible weather in my opinion. So one reason I moved to Utah is because of all of the wonderful national parks they have in southern Utah, which I just loved. And this way I could do a lot more exploring of those southern Utah parks in the spring, summer, fall months on the weekends instead of just taking vacations. So I did a lot of weekend camping trips down there. The other reason is for the skiing. For the last, I think, 3 years that I lived in Houston, I had really gotten into snow skiing. But the problem is, living in Houston, the only way you can snow ski is pretty much to take a week or two vacation and fly up into the mountains, New Mexico at the closest, Colorado, Utah, Arizona. So then you ski every day for at least a week and then go back home to Houston, and then it's another year before you have a chance to go on another vacation there. So after skiing 2 days in a row, you're really kind of worn out. You don't really want to go that third day, but you know you got to do it because this is your only chance. So skiing 7 days in a row or more, it kind of really wears you out, and then you don't get a chance for another year. So by living in Utah, I was able to go skiing like once a week during the ski season, and that way I've got a whole week to rest up for the next weekend when I can go skiing again. I lived in Salt Lake City for 15 years, and during those 15 years I went skiing, and I've kept records of about 120 times, 120 ski days over 15 years. And I think Salt Lake City is the most convenient city anywhere in the country, a large city that is, for ski access. So now let me show you on the map why and how that is. So there's downtown Salt Lake City, and I lived right there. And within a short distance is 7 ski areas. There's 2 ski areas here, and then you go up this canyon for 2 more ski areas that are here, and then you go around to Park City, and there are 1, 2, 3 ski areas there. So there's 7 ski areas that are all within a very short driving distance. And what I would do most of the time is, where I was living here, I would just walk outside my back door, look up at the skies, and see if it looks like it's going to be a good day for skiing. And if so, I could be skiing on the slopes within 1 hour. I don't think you can beat that for skiing convenience while living in a large city. And while I'm here in Salt Lake City on this trip, I'm going to take a ski lift out of Park City and come up the mountain here and show you some of the scenery and explain some things about skiing there. And next, I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite eating places around Salt Lake City. One of my favorite places to go out to eat in the Salt Lake City area is one of the many Greek hamburger places that they have all around the Salt Lake area and other places in Utah. And they have an amazing number of these Greek hamburger places, and I found that they're pretty rare to find anywhere outside of Utah. They don't necessarily have a Greek related name. This one, but you see behind me, kind of does, the Apollo Burger. They all have different ownerships, different names, but they pretty much are all the same in the way they do things and the food. So come in with me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here is the menu. So they have a lot of different burger selections to pick from. They also have gyros. And here's some more. I'm getting the Utah burger on one on the left there. And they even have salads. There's a Greek salad. So this is the Utah burger. 4 different types of meat on it. It's got pastrami, bacon, it's got some gyro meat here, and a hamburger patty. That's, I think, is the biggest one they have. And their fries are nice, thick fries. I don't like those thin McDonald's type French fries. I say the bigger the better when it comes to fries. So this is a really good meal, which is actually more than I really need. And they have their own special fry sauce. Another place I like to go out for sandwiches, a place called the Scone Cutter. They used to have several locations, but now, I don't know why, but they're just down to one. And here is the menu. Their scone sandwiches is the feature. You see they got a lot of them. And they have ice cream and other things like that. So let's go in and I'll show you why I think this place is special. They have breakfast sandwiches and Navajo fried bread tacos. How about that? And dessert scones. At Scone Cutter, it's really all about the bread, but they don't use regular bread or buns for anything. They use these scones, and they taste so much better than any other kind of bread. They're perfect for making sandwiches. It makes them taste so much better. They're not huge, they're just regular size, but it really makes for a much more pleasant meal sandwich. And I also got an apple pie dessert scone. So that's what I like about Scone Cutter. This is another place I like to go to, not necessarily for the food, but for the shakes. See, it says here, famous thick shakes. Let me get one and show you what they're like. So this is what they look like. They put it so far above the rim that it actually does look like an iceberg. Cost $5 and I've paid more for less at Dairy Queen. And it's one of my favorites, root beer flavored, and they have numerous flavors. There's some of their list of flavors that they have. So I'm going to dig in and I'll get back to you later. Another nice thing that they do is this is the actual cup that they make it in, and then they put it in a larger cup so that it's not cold to the touch. How many places will do that for you? And that's what they always do. And they have 7 locations around Utah. 3 of them are in Salt Lake City, and then there's 4 in other smaller towns around Utah. Definitely check this out when it's hot outside or whenever you're in the mood for a shake or a malt. Another thing I like about Salt Lake City, believe it or not, are the strip clubs. And let me tell you why they're different here in Utah than the other states. When I lived here, sometimes I would stop by one of the strip clubs on the way home from work because they were really casual. No cover charges. They're not these huge buildings with very elaborate surroundings, all the ambiance of a high-class strip club. These are kind of low-class strip clubs, which are the kind that I like. Now, I quit going to strip clubs many years ago because the industry changed so much. I went for the stage shows. That's what I like to see. But the industry has changed to where the girls will dance on the stage for just a minute or two, and then they go down into the audience and beg for lap dancers or private dances, because that's where they really make their money. And I never went to strip clubs for these close-up private dances. I went to watch the stage shows, but they were getting away from that. But in Utah, it is illegal for these strippers to come down into the audience and give private dances. At least in the strip clubs where they do serve alcoholic beverages, because they are regulated by the Utah State Liquor Control Commission, who have set themselves up as experts on dancing, believe it or not. But in some ways, that was good for me, because Utah still concentrates only on the stage dancing, which is pretty much all they're legally allowed to do. Whereas in other states, they don't have those rules, except maybe a couple places. I think Idaho is even more strict, and I hear New Jersey is pretty strict. Otherwise, in most states, are just very open what they can do. But I kind of like those restrictions in Utah. So while I'm here, I did go back to one of those strip clubs just to see if they've changed any, and they really haven't changed much at all. So I'm going to show you now a video that I made at one of the local, what you might call low-class strip clubs. Like this one, for example. The name is simply Show Club. Nothing fancy. It's just a little place, and it's one of the more casual strip clubs around town. This one actually has meals, some of them don't, and the dancers are topless, not bottomless, because they do serve alcoholic beverages and they're subject to the rules of the Liquor Commission. And they make the dancers wear pasties like they used to do in the old days. It's still that way in Utah. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video about some of my favorite things about Utah, and especially about living here in Salt Lake City. So I'm going to end this video by showing you an overall view on the map of the state of Utah and pointing out some of the major features that I've been talking about. So here's the map of Utah. Salt Lake City is mostly the way up north. Like I said, 7 ski areas outside of Salt Lake City on the east. There's also ski areas further up here, and a couple more ski areas in the mountains down south. And there's 5 national parks in southern Utah. There's Arches, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef National Park is right around here, and then Bryce Canyon National Park and Zions National Park. On my last trip to Utah, I did videos on these 3 national parks, and on this trip going south from Salt Lake City, I'm going to do a video at Bryce and Zions. So I hope you've enjoyed my explanations here. Good day, folks.